Hey, what is up, guys? And welcome back to another Magic the Gathering online league. We're back with Eldrazi Tron on the draw for game one. I have an interesting hand here. So I'm testing out Anti-Causal Vestige in place of TKS. Oh, this is bad. Oh, Life from the Loam. That's not what I was expecting. That's not what I was expecting at all. And pass. Dredge 3. Return land. Faithless looting. Oh. Prized Amalgam. Dredge? I mean, it seems like Dredge. Draw. Urza Tower. I'm going to hold up a K command then. We could play the anti-causal and warp it, interestingly enough. So the nice part about the warp, I guess this comes into play tapped though, so it doesn't really replace itself. Only downside, if it came to play untapped, imagine. I'm just gonna hold the K command. I guess I could just get rid of the life from the loam. Dredge. There's Narcomoeba, Thug, and Amalgam. Scry draw, exile cards in yard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And done. So don't want lab, don't want lab. We could go Warping Whale theoretically. Devour's okay. What's the benefit of whale here? Not too much, I don't think. Bottom top. And pass in full. Next turn we can crack the map for a tower. Guess I could have dug one deeper, forgot about the Mind Stone. 2 life. City of Brass. Draw. All is dust. So I'll crack the map. Grab a tower. Play a tower. And cast Vestige. And pass. Hold Dismember. Might even crack the Mind Stone. There's looting. Mana Confluence. Alright. And we have an All is Dust. Life from the Loam, sure. Faithless looting? Go for it. Narcomoeba. Bloodghast Thug. Narcomoeba, sure. Pause on end step. Crack Mind Stone. Draw a card, another Mind Stone. Okay. Draw. There's KGC. So let's see here. How do you want to proceed? So 1, 2, 3. Devour of Destiny. Mind Stone. KGC. Minus KGC. Tormod's Crypt. I was not expecting to see Dredge today. Win for game 1. Let's move to game 2. Let's take a look here against Dredge. Is there anything here that I want to cut? I'm also wondering if Fleshraker is better than Vestige, or Vestige is better than Fleshraker, or TKS is better than Fleshraker. I remember Fleshraker had some middling results last time we tried Colorless. So I wonder if maybe we go TKS Vestige instead of Fleshraker. That's a thought. Oh, I kind of wish this Vexing Bauble was a Grafdigger's Cage now that I think about it. Might want to actually swap that. It's better for Neoform as well, admittedly. Yeah. Okay. Something to think about. Otherwise, let's run it back. Also, not sure about the Torpor Orb. Well, I guess it does work well in the Titan, for example. Yeah, I'm thinking we just run it back, honestly. Hand's pretty bad. We have 8 hits off the top, but we'll mulligan here. Okay, we can make this work. So I'm thinking pitch Ugin or pitch Sire. Sire's probably a bit more impactful. We can pick off something with Ugin, but we can block with Sire. Reveal Devourer. We're looking for one of the Tron lands. City of Brass. Thoughtseize. Yeah, take the map. That would kind of suck. Yep. So now if we have the choice between a map and a Tron piece, we'll take the map. I don't know if it does come up. So now I have 8 hits off the top. And pass. And pass. We do need to hope that we draw into a land, admittedly. That could complicate things, but here's open. City of Brass, Thoughtseize, hits K-Command or Karn. K-Command makes sense. Draw, map, play map, pass. Just need a land and we're a good spot. Be fair, they missed their land drop too, funny enough. Blue, Tome Scour, Thug, Fragmentize. Fresh LRU. Huh, alright. Swamp, pass. They did Dredge. There's a Ghoul. So now they need to hit a Creeping Chill for the Ghoul. 2. Narcomoeba. Pause on end step. There's a consideration to grabbing a lab, but we'll grab a mine here and draw Ugin's lab. Interesting. I think we stick with the mine though and pass. So next turn off Tron, we'll have 8 mana. We can land Devourer or Sire. Imagine they bring in Consign to Memory since they do play blue. Brass, Faithless Looting. Yep. There's Thug. Do you have another way to draw? If not, we have Karn. And Punch is going to scoop it up. Alright, we'll take the win against Dredge. We'll be back for match 2. Alright, we're back for match 2 on the draw for game 1. We'll keep. This is a Glaring Fleshrake. Lighted Halfling. Could be Brood Scale, could be Yawg. let's see here. I will play Lab, imprint Ugin, pass, and hold. Is this a Grist? Aggie Soul Cauldron, okay. So, could still be Brood Scale. Unswept Teeth, Underground Mort, okay. And draw. Swamp. Eldrazi Temp. And pass. And pass. Next we're going to play Karn, lock down Aggie Soul Cauldron. Ideally Flesh Rake sticks on board so we can ramp towards Ugin or Sire. Rainforest, so it definitely feels more Yawgish than it does Brood Scale. Fetch Rainforest, Overgrown Tomb Shock, or Rumble? No, what this? 4. Huh? Huh. 4. Court of Calling? GSC for 3. Grist. Grist sacrifice. Flesh Rake. Yep. Unfortunate, not unexpected. Draw. Another Ugin. Really could use some lands here. Ideally a soul land after this. KGC locks down Aggie Soul Cauldron. Eats the halfling. Yes. Yes for KGC. I mean, we could simply go, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 mana next turn. Filigree Silex isn't it. We could just Pithing Needle the Grist. That's probably the right move in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, we'll go Pithing Needle. And pass. And pass. Green, green. Rumble. There goes GSC. Do you take the Yawgmoth or the Beseiju? And I guess you could run Beseiju. Choose Beseiju for Grist. Grist is up. Land. Are you going to Beseiju now? Yawgmoth. That does make things a bit more complicated, doesn't it? Another power plant. So we can also minus Karn for another needle effect. We'll access to 2, 3, 4, 5. Could also go Ballista for 4. Can hit down the Grist. Can... Interesting. Yeah, it's probably best for us just to play Needle. Name Grist the Murktide. Burning Catacombs, okay. For a land tapped. Grist the Grist the Hunger Tide. We could use this to our advantage, funny enough. So play the power plant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 4 remaining. I mean, I'm thinking that we could just minus, as I mentioned. We could go Ballista. We could go Flute. Ballista's appealing because we can block and then ping ping. Go to minus Karn. Yes. Go Ballista. Cast Ballista for 2. And I will pass. So they'll have to Besage you. In response to Besage you, I can ping Grist to 1. Kind of want them to hit the needle so it can ramp me. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They can't cast Besage you now. Yeah, I think they may have forgotten that Grist doesn't count as a creature on board. So again, they can Besage you the Pithy Needle, we'll ping the Grist, we'll block with Ballista, and ping the Insect. Yep. In response, ping Grist once. Besage resolves. Yes. Oh no. Fail to find? Shit, that's right. That is right. I need a swamp in there. One of the downsides of this. Go to combat. Attacks. Attack at Karn. So go to blocks. Block the Yawgmoth before damage. Ping the insect. And pass. Yeah, that is unfortunate. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Next turn we can still play the Sire's 7 Death. Dismember. Sire. Plus with Karn. Pass. They'll likely Grist the Sire then. Now they can minus, but that's fine. I guess it does turn on Aggie's Soul Cauldron Grist, which is a bit unfortunate. Yeah, definitely want Ugin out here soon. So Grist minus sack spawn, kill Sire, take 7. Yeah, moments like this where Sire kind of feels a bit bad by comparison. Ugin definitely would have been the best thing we could have played. So Karn will be down, Soul Cauldron will be online. I suppose what they also could do is Grist sack Yawgmoth target Karn. Yawgmoth gets a token, becomes a Grist. Yep, down to 7. Now they can attack Karn. Yep. And then they can make something else into a Grist. And then plus and plus. Oh, Yawg. Interesting, so they went with Yawg instead of Grist. I guess I'm looking for another Yawgmoth. Rumble. Rumble finds an actual Yawg, which uses Spy Masters. You don't have to worry about Spy Masters yet. Sacks token. Sacks the Yawgmoth. Down to 4. Spy Masters. Alright, did you find what you need to win? Green. Green. 4. Yes, even if that's unfortunate. Second Passaggio. Not sure I can do much now. 2, 3, 4, 5. We can go after a Yawgmoth, but what then? Yeah, that's a bit awkward. That is a bit awkward. I'll pass and hold the Dismember. So basically, if they Spy Master's Vault, we can dismember the target. Okay. You only have 4 life, though. Do you have a Prosperous Innkeeper? Yes. Create a treasure in response to the trigger. Begin combat. I'll take damage. They're just gonna hold the Prosperous Innkeeper, basically, yeah. That is smart. We can exile Innkeep. The only problem is they can probably kill me next turn as it stands. Yeah, that is awkward. Attempt to Warping Wail the Innkeep. The problem is they'll take 2 to 10. 2, 6, 8. Targeting Yawg. It no longer becomes a 1 or as a 1/1, right? Yeah, I think I just die at the end of the day here between that and the Spy Master's Vault. Because now they just Oh, I guess maybe not. Oh, no, I think I do. And then what? Proliferate. Oh. Yeah, that'll do it. Alright. Yeah, mana was a bit awkward there. Was banking on being able to play the Ugin and just was not able to because I only had the Swamp, and the Swamp was in hand. So that's my mistake for playing around that. Disruptor Flute seems like a good option here. We also could argue Leveler. And again, this is where Grafdigger's Cage would be better. So yeah, like, Sire feels a bit bad. Warp Whale's okay. Exile-based effects are good. Let's run it like this. Yeah, the double Besage was rough. On the play for game 2, I will keep. We have 8 hits off the top. Power Plant, pass. And pass. Thoughtseize hits Karn. I guess they could hit the Mind Stone, arguably. Makes Karn a bit late. Still could play on turn 3 if we draw into some kind of value spell off the lab, I suppose. Alright, takes the Mind Stone, draw. There's the map we were looking for. And pass. Unfortunately, next turn we'll only have 2 mana left over, so we'll probably just hold, play an E-Temp. Besage? Rumble. Rumble finds halfling or land? Choose halfling. Okay. Draw. Swamp. Play E-Temp and pass. So we're going to have access to 8 mana next turn as it stands. So 4 after resolve Karn. Catacomb, fetch. Guess you could have Yawg here. We brought Flute in, so we still have a Needle. I guess one thing I could have done last game was actually Flute name Besage. It would have kept the Needle on board. Karn would have died. Maybe. Hipatra. Okay. And Halfling? Yes. The pause on end step. Crack map for 9. Draw. Another map. Well, we have KGC with 4 mana left over. We could Ballista. Ballista might not be a bad idea. Turn after we can Extinguisher. That is a thought. Otherwise go Tormod's Crypt. And I'm thinking maybe Ballista. That way we can deal with a Patra. At the same time, we could just go Flute. But I kind of want to keep Karn on board, if at all possible. Ballista. And done. And hold. Because if I can get Extinguisher on board, we can clear it pretty cleanly too. They play Grist, that would be unfortunate though, admittedly. Underground Mort, Surveil Trigger. Maybe if Yogg starts seeing more play, a Curse Totem wouldn't be a bad idea. Potentially. Though I definitely think I replace Vexing Bauble with Grafdiggers. Yawgmoth. And Cord. For 3 for Grist. That would be my guess. There's Grist, minus, sacrifice. So we actually do have the opportunity to interrupt. How does this read again? -1, -1 counters. Yes, sacrifice. Sacrifice the Yawgmoth, right? And target Ballista. Interesting. That's a choice. I'm going to... Interesting. Target you. Target you. Yawgmoth. Draw. Minus. Yes. For Extinguisher Battleship, I'm going to play... And vote spell. Yeah, I mean, being able to pull a sweeper out of board is fantastic. Alright, solid. Anything we want to change based on what we saw? Probably not. No, I don't think so. I'll run it back as is. I mean, there's Devourer, there's Ugin, another Soul Land off top would be nice. Although Lab specifically would get me a turn 2 Karn. Halfling, Trigger. There is the E-Temp. So I think we go that direction. And Tuck. Ugin or Tuck Devourer? It's more likely that we cast Devourer before Ugin, so we're going to Tuck the Ugin. And hold. And hold. Rumble. You choose the Grist. They choose a land, and they're land light, which means we'll go. Which means we'll go after the halfling with K command. They're land light. That's good to note. Running Catacomb fetch. 4 Overgrown Tomb Shock. Green. Colorless. Cauldron. Cauldron is a bit annoying, admittedly. Grab Grist. Yep. getting Karn on board would be good. A plus with Halfling. Yep. Draw. Anti-causal's interesting. K command. I want to ramp an exile. And done. And hold. And hold. Next turn we have Devourer, or we have Karn. Karn would lock up Aggie Soul Cauldron. Yep, gives them the ability to make mana. Spymaster's Vault. Makes another insect. 4 for Yawg. So we're gonna want to devour the Yawg. Well, that's rude. Sack, you don't draw a card. 2, 4, 5. So we need a soul land, specifically a temple off the top. Oof. Okay. Well, that does get a bit tricksy, now doesn't it? No more creatures engrave. Huh. Draw. KGC number 2. So, how do you want to proceed? I can play Karn, but then what? I guess go for Needle. That is a thought. 2, 4, 5. We'll only have 6 next turn, though. Yeah. Needle name Yawg. Play Tower. Cast Karn. Karn minus. Yes. Also a map in there. But we don't want map right now. Yeah, I think the best option is the Needle Yawg. Needle, cast Needle, name Yawgmoth. Grand Physician. Now what they could do, theoretically, is they could sacrifice Yawg to Grist effect through the insect, kill Karn, Aggie Soul Cauldron, and then Aggie Soul Cauldron Yawg. That's a thought. Attack for 4 at Karn. Yep, as expected. And green. Might eats Needle or not. Okay, might eats Needle. Oh, because they can use it as any color, right? Might. Okay. Makes another 1/1. Oh. Yawg. Sack. Halfling. Passing. Draw. Leveler. 2, 4, 5, 6. 5 for non-Eldrazi, though. Land. We don't have anything that would play well into the current board state from our sideboard, I don't think. So in that case, I think we do play the anti-causal. The question is to warp or not warp. If we warp, we can technically put Karn into board, but do we even want to do that? Probably not. What I really want is a land, so we can devour Yawg. At least attacks as a blocker, and if they do end up destroying it, then we do get the warp. And pass. Guess we also could have went Karn. Tormod script wouldn't work there because of the Haywire land underneath. Yeah, that is a problem. They have Prosperous Innkeeper in Yard. Alright, so it looks like they're just going to shrink it. That's fine. Yawgmoth. That could be a problem. We'll have to wait and see. Alright. And then sacrifice the Yawgmoth. Yeah, this has to dig pretty deep. And fortunately, the might effect when you bag of the Soul Cauldron, we're in a pretty rough position, no matter how you slice it. Maybe Curse Totem could be beneficial. Again, it's mainly if Yawg is prevalent enough in the meta, and I don't know if it is. Not a deck I was exactly prepared for, but does make me think cutting Bauble for a Graph Diggers probably makes more sense. I do think I lose here. I'd be willing to bet. Halfling, yep. And then Court of Calling for Sephiroth. No, it has to be... No, Court of Calling for Sephiroth would work. For 0? 7. Oh, for Ballista? Yes. Now I think I lose? Yes, because now they can Yawgmoth, ping, sack, rinse. But even better, they can Spy Master's Vault. Because all they need to do really is actually just ping Yawgmoth with itself and then destroy the anti-causal. Because then they can Spy Master's Vault connive. That would make the most sense. Because right now, every time they activate Yawg, so we just block Yawg or the insect. And what I need to worry about is the Spy Master's Fault, I suppose. And then Vault. The assumption here that's enough to kill me. I'd imagine so. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. Yeah, that's enough to kill me. I'll concede. I'll concede. Alright, well, we'll be back for match number 3. Alright, and we're back for match 3 on the play for game 1. I will keep... We do need to draw off the top here, but we do have Mind Stones, have some redraws. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Opponent mulligans the 6. Urza's mine. Map, pass, and pass. Eldrazi temp. Pass, draw, KGC. Love to see that. Pass. Lab imprint for TKS. Looks like TKS. Eats Karn. Pause on end step. We can dismember TKS for an extra draw. Cheaper than the Mind Stone. Mind Stone's 3 for a draw versus dismember's 1. Map. Tower. Draw. Dismember. Yeah. Redraw. TKS. Dust. Not doing much. Mind Stone. Mind Stone. Pass. We'll draw an end step. There's mine. End step. Draw a card. Draw a card. Really? Draw a card? There we go. At least it's something. Mind Stone. Ugin. Trigger. Always yield. Doubt we're gonna get many targets this game. Ugin. Mind Stone. Finding all of the Mind Stones, I'll tell you what. Pass. K command X equals 2. X equals 3, sorry. They do need to deal with Ugin before I ult. If I ult, I win. That's one thing I'll say about Flesh Rake. It does offer a win con off Ugin, whereas otherwise I wouldn't necessarily win. I'd have a loaded board, I just wouldn't necessarily win. And pass. Power plant. Alright. Cost for what? TKS. TKS takes a Mind Stone. Yep. That way I don't have another draw. Draw. Temple. We're just flooding out. Ugin. Dude. Draw card. Okay, about freaking time. Karn. So KGC, and I'll have, what, 6 left over? KGC. Done. Always yield. So, what to do here? We have power plant. So we have all the mana in the world. I can go for what? Bridge doesn't work the way I want it to. Vaccine Bobble's a redraw. No. I mean, probably the safest option is a Ballista. Ballista X equals 3. Doesn't mean if they have a K command though. It's a little bit rough. We can't end stone. No. Moments like this is where I wish still ran Roll Call Engine. Alright. Minus Karn. Yes. For a Ballista. And done. And done. Alright, we'll pass. Again, K command would deal with the Ballista rather well. But then you do need to determine whether or not you deal with the Ugin or the Karn. 1, 2, 3. You just returned Ugin. Ping 1. Ping 2. Pass. No Ugin for you, please. Okay, so you have Ugin regardless. There's Ugin. You don't kill the Karn, then we get Extinguisher. If you don't hit the Ugin, then I win. Ugin plus. Go to combat. Attack of TKS at Karn. That's a bold move, Cotton. Go to blocks, block. Before damage, ping spawn. Draw. Anti-causal. So I'm just going to minus Ugin now. So I want anti-causal. Devourer. Don't need map. Fleshraker. Sire 7 deaths. And Ugin. And that should be enough. Alright. And done. So we will start with Glaring Fleshraker. Cast. Glaring Fleshraker. Cast. Triggers. Always yield. Always yield. ETB. Cast. And cast. Now we have all 4 on board. Play anti-causal. And that's the game. Alright, so Eldrazi Tron versus Eldrazi Tron. Win for game 1. Extinguisher Battleship honestly might be better than Cityscape. Because it can hit Karn, but it also can hit land, which is relevant. We want Flute. Dismember is kind of weak. Even Warping Whale is kind of weak here. Let me cut Warping Whale. Dismember does hit TKS, which can be relevant. I do like the Extinguisher Battleship. All his dust is weak, so we can actually bring in both Leveler and Extinguisher. I do like that idea. We do need one more card in. I guess we can bring in, we already have the Flute. Oh, interesting. I guess maybe even a Whale? Yeah, I guess we can just bring in Whale. Alright, let's run it back like this. On the draw for game 2. We can make this work. Keep. Would like more lands. Fun mulligans down to 5. Soul lands would be even better. Yeah, because turn 1 Lab Mindstone into Fleshrake into Fleshrake. Imprint, Mind Stone, or Talisman. Map. Okay. Trigger. There's E-Temp. I'm going to take the E-Temp. Draw. Lab. Imprint. Cast. Pass. And pass. So next turn we can play the Flesh Raker, hold up a Cake Man if we need. Do you have a Flesh Raker of your own? No. Draw Mind Stone, which means we can play Flesh Raker. And cast Mind Stone, trigger. Do you have a Dismember? No Dismember. And pass. Again, can hold up the K command. Map crack for Tronland Forest. So looks like this might be mono green with Myco Spawn if I had to bet. Forest, Myco Spawn. Yep. Grabs a Tronland or a Soul Land. Grabs a Tronland. Okay. Draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We could play Ugin here. I'm thinking I cast Flesh Rake though. See, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 minus 2 would be 6. We do have another K command. Yeah, I think we stick with Flesh Rake here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Actually, we can have our cake and eat it too. So I'm going to K command. And 5, which actually becomes 7. And we'll bottom the mine. Flesh Rake is a -1. So we currently have 7. In that case, I'm thinking we go Devour Bottom. We need plus with Ugin after map. So I'm thinking I'm going to go plus our top, and top. And I think I win, potentially. Triggers. Ugin triggers, and I just win from here, yeah. Done. Good stuff. Yeah, moments like this where I think, as I was saying earlier, like, is Flesh Raker better than TKS or Vestige? Hard to say. I think it's more of a competition between TKS and Vestige versus Vestige and Flesh Rake. But solid win on turn 3. Flesh Rake is good. With that said, we'll be back for match 4. Alright, we're back for match 3, or match 4 on the draw for game 1. We'll keep. This is looking promising. Opponent mulligans down to 5. So like moments like this is where TKS would probably be better than Vestige by comparison, just for the sheer fact that a TKS hitting board into a mold of 5 is backbreaking. So it is something to consider where like Vestige is nice because it can ramp you, it's extra card draw, and sometimes this deck does fall a little bit flat when you just draw into nothing but lands, and Vestige can help with that. And then it can then be played later as a 7-5 beater. So something to think about. Artifact, pass. Another map. Expedition map, pass. And pass. And oof, Pinnacle Emissary. Yeah, this card might break Affinity, honestly. The fact that it's a warp 1 is kind of insane. I only have 2 cards in hand, though. Blue, Thoughtcast. Never mind, 3 cards in hand. Blue, another Thoughtcast. Another Pinnacle Emissary with Warp. So they're just trying to flood the board at this point. That's fair. Draw. Dismember. Hold. Pinnacle. Ornithopter. Yeah, there's not much we can do here. I swear if you slam a frickin' Kappa, that would be upsetting. 4. And map. Give me a card. That would be lovely. For a power plant. Draw. Draw. Oofda. In that case, we can play Mind Stone. Play Vestige. And pass. Next turn we can redraw the Mind Stone. We'll take 5 in the air, down to 11. The thing is they have a clock. So we do need to deal with these tokens. Again, Karn would be ideal. At least this way we can block the Pinnacle Emissary, if nothing else. The card is kinda nuts. Yeah, because this turn 1 land untapped, warp, opal, and then immediately have Metalcraft. Naughty, naughty card. Blue, red, another Pinnacle, yep. Then passing, or rather attacking for 5, another opal. I desperately need cover. Attack for 5. Yep. Down to 11. And draw. Oofda. So, I will start by cracking the Mind Stone to draw a card. Seriously. We're playing less lands than I was with mono green, but we're still doing this. 5, 8, 11. So in that case, I need to play the map. I need to crack the map. I need to grab a swamp. I need to play a swamp so I can dismember the other Pinnacle Emissary. Because we'll take 8. 10 will be down to 1. Alright, well, they do have blue available. So doing that now is a bit nonsensical. No attacks. 8, draw. I guess I should have done it before the draw. Proceed. Because if they drew into the Metallic Rebuke, then we're in trouble. 2. What this? Either Spell Bomb would ruin me here. Arcbound Ravenger? Huh. Yeah, we lose to that. Yeah? Actually, not necessarily. Okay. We can kind of make this work. Probably not, though, actually. Blue for Kappa. Yeah. That sure is a thing that you just did. Uh-huh. Go to blocks. Block. Ravager will start sacking. The thing is, I have to do something in response, so we then do this. The problem is that by doing this, now they can respond with Ravager's sack, modular tokens onto the Thops. Oh, wait, you didn't? What just happened? What just happened? Oh, sacrifice the Pinnacle Emissary. I was just very confused why Vestige was like all the way to the right. I thought for a second it was in exile. Like, did it die? Like, what has happened? Yeah, so I die here. Yeah. Unfortunate. Okay. So, loss against Affinity. Affinity does seem pretty good. Warping Whale seems a bit mid here, though it does hit Emery, does hit Tamio, admittedly. Allah's Dust, also pretty mid. So Leveler Extinguisher makes sense. Let's run it back like this. Quite unfortunate. So yeah, Karn definitely is going to be a linchpin in this matchup, I think. I wonder if... No, if I tried to go Warp Karn, it wouldn't have done much. You would have put Karn on board. Yeah. On the play for game 2, I will keep... We have 8 hits off the top. Otherwise, we have a Flesh Raker on 2. So yeah, I think we go mine. And then if we find a Tron land, we can go that direction. Alright, we have a play here. We then go Flesh Raker into Karn. That seems appealing. And having the Extinguisher Battleship will be good. Always having access to it. And pass. Canal, de-warp. You do. And Opal, Metalcraft. Yeah, that card seems nuts. Honestly. Bobble. Like, even if you just dump your hand here, Needle name Map, name Karn. Needle naming Map is fine. Not ideal, but fine. Yep. Bobble, target me. Warp. Bobble trigger, draw. And mine. Imprint. Cast Flesh Rake and pass. And pass. attack. Okay. Draw. Power plant. Cast KGC. Triggers. One, two, three, four, five, six. So I will actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doesn't matter. We could plus boots, and at least that way we shrink the token. Yeah, that would be my initial thought. Target boots, unequip and pass. No attacks, and pass. So 3 at Karn is fine. Thought Monitor, yep. Island, 4 in hand. Kappa would be unfortunate. Ornithopter. Is it Kappa? Yes, it is. So we're gonna have to go for Bridge, I think. Well, ain't that just annoying? Attack Karn down to 3. Draw. Another Flash Rake. So in that case, cast Flesh Raker. Triggers. Play a land. Mine. Minus Karn. Yes. For Bridge. Yeah, I think that's probably the best option, unfortunately. Because we can't deal with the Kappa right now. So Bridge. Unfortunately, Karn will still go down. And they can theoretically play around it relatively well. Alright. Because of the Ornithopter, if they have a Ravager. But at least Kappa can't attack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are close to Battleship. I'm not sure we actually want to because it would kill the Flesh Rake. Yeah. Only downside of that. Karn down. Three mana. Harbinger. Again, annoying, but not that end of the world, especially as we have Flesh Rake on board. Draw. Dismember. We can dismember the Harbinger if needed. Actually, we can dismember the Kappa, funny enough. That is a consideration. 1, 2. Oh. Harbinger or Kappa? I'd say the Kappa would make the most sense. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Like I said, I don't exactly want to cast the Extinguisher right now, though. Interesting. I will hold for right now. Draw. Main. I'm gonna have to make a decision if they play an artifact, of course. Because we have colorless sources thanks to the spawn, so I'm not as worried. Pinnacle? In response, I'm gonna go for the Kappa. Board. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes. Kappa down, pass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can play everything in our deck. Opal. White for Shadow Spear. Yeah, we're just hoping at this point Fleshraker can carry us. Map. Play the map. Triggers. And pass. And pass. Alright. Ravager is what I'm probably most worried about right now, the Ornithopter. Wonder if maybe I should have went for Ornithopter in retrospect. Second Harbinger, that's fine. Draw. Devourer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And triggers. I'll go after the Pinnacle Emissary. Always yield. And pass. And pass. One more color spell and we win. I was gonna scoop it up. Alright, we'll take one for game 2. Let's move on to game 3. Harbinger was surprising, not gonna lie. I guess it gets better in those decks, even though Saga's there, because Saga no longer just auto-destructs when Harbinger's on board. So that is interesting to me. Still don't think we bring in Allah's Dust. Could argue bringing in a Flute. Though I guess Allah's Dust does get around Kappa. That is actually interesting, I suppose, because like the cards I'm most afraid of is 1000% Kappa. So if we do bring in Allah's Dust, what do we replace though? Interesting. Oh no. It's a bit suspect to do in my opinion. Yeah, I think we just keep as is. On one hand, I can see the argument for Allah's Dust in this matchup. Oh, this hand is god-awful. I will mulligan. I will keep. We pitch. You could pitch second map. Pitch Cake, Commander, pitch Swamp. Let's pitch a Swamp. And done. And pass. We have 8 hits off the top for Tron lands. Perfect. Play the map. And pass. And pass. Warp. Yep. Opal. And I think I've hit that every single game. Blue. Warp. Bobble. No? Okay. Draw. Anti-causal. Pass. Blue. Warp. No. Jeez, okay. Third, Pinnacle Emissary. Bobble. That's a draw into the bobble then. We'll need a Bobble Me on upkeep. Thought Monitor. Yep. Draws 2. green hand. Memnite. Yep. Anything else you want to do? Go to combat. Swing for 2, down to 18. End step, trigger, map. Find a power plant. Bobble, pass in full. Trigger, and draw. Ugin. Ugin is actually really interesting, and I will cast it. Metallic Rebuke. Metallic Rebuke scares me. Because we resolve the Ugin, it's going to be really difficult for them to deal with, because it'll be 9. 3, 4, 5, 6. If it doesn't, though, we're SOL. I mean, if they have Metallic Rebuke... Yeah, we'll go for it. Ugin, target, always yield. Yeah, you do. Oh, you just have a straight up force? That was not expected. Harbinger sent to exile. That's a happy thing, though. Do you have another Harbinger? That would suck. No. Pinnacle, 1 in hand. Ornithopter. So I desperately need, like, Karn into Filigree Silex. 12, draw. There's Karn. So in that case, we can either go mana neutral map or +1 lab. Silex is... I'm trying to think here. Silex is 2, and a Kraken's for 0. So we can go... That'd be 6 mana we need. 8. So, here's what we can do. I'm going to tuck the leveler. I'm going to Rampant Exile. That leaves us with 2, 4, 7. Oh, I guess I'm 1 extra, aren't I? Yes. Yes, I am. That's fine, though. I guess I can play the map. Cast Karn. Minus Karn. Yes. For Filigree Silex. Cast Silex. Cast Map. Crack Silex. Pass. And pass. And opponent scoops it up. Alright, solid win. Alright, we'll be back for match number 5. Alright, we're back for match 5. I will keep. I will reveal. Do I need to reveal again? Not really. So I'm just going to reveal 1. Pause. Trigger. I'll grab the Vestige. And draw. Mine. Pass. Flooded Strand. Fetch. Surveil. So looking like it is... whatchamacallit. Looking like it is Murktide. Do you play a frog? Breeding pool, maybe not. Frog, still a frog. It is interesting. Power plant, pass. And pass, frog will hit. Huh. Soul tie. pitch a Murktide. So I'm just trying to rush the bottom. Draw a card, 6. I wonder if you have Harbinger main. That would be unfortunate if so. Draw. Map. Let's start with Devourer. Cast Devourer 1. Let's see if you have Consign main. Pass. No Consign main. Counter the body. You do not counter the body. Interesting. I'll pass. What the fresh? What? I haven't seen Charticors played in a god long time. Why? I'm confused. Charticors. Why are you playing Charticors? Huh. I am confusion. Draw. K command. I will play Tower. I'll play a Flash Rake. I will play a Map. Trigger. So you have Fail a Push in hand, but forgot that Flash Rake's 3 mana. Otherwise, Dismember main? Nope, it's a Fail a Push. Okay. Anti-causal. Like, if this was a TKS, would it be better? I mean, I get to strip a card out of hand, clears the way for the following turn, but opponent's going to scoop. We'll take the win against what seems to be Murktide, but now I'm not sure, because that Charticor is confusing me. Karn gets arguably worse, though if it does resolve, it's very good. Like, I could argue cutting a Karn for a leveler, because we don't want to see Karn as often-ish. Just harder to resolve. Thing is, obviously, if it does resolve, then we're off to the races. Warping Whale also is a bit mid here. I'm trying to think what else it hits. It doesn't hit Frog cleanly. I guess we can counter a Sorcery Speed spell. Yeah, maybe I do cut Warping Whale for a leveler. The Extinguisher Battleship is also interesting. But I can't hit creatures, which I think is more important in this matchup than lands. We could bring in Flute. Could name Frog. It's a thing I've seen done. Yeah, let's do this and run it back. On the draw for game 2. I will keep, we have 8 hits off the top between Map and Power Plant. We have this member to interact with a Harbinger. I'll reveal both since we are looking for something. Pass. Maze. Surveil. Murktide to yard. Trigger 1. There is mine. We don't want mine, but I'll take a Flash Rake. Trigger 2. I'll keep the Flash Rake. Draw. I'll play the mine and pass. And hold on the off chance that it's relevant. Watery Grave, Shock, tapped. Okay. You have Consign in hand. Draw. K command. We can use that as permission. At the same time, I kind of want to, like, if they play a frog, I want to hit the frog. So I'm going to go Flesh Rake here. Let's see if they have Consign. They do not have Consign. Fascinating. What do you have in your hand? We'll pass in full. Maybe add a Spell, Snare, or Force? Maybe. The fact that you played nothing and you tap that, I think you had something. Watery Grave, Shock, Harbinger? Yeah, that's fine. Draw. Sire 7 death. I mean, we force check here, I think. Dismember, Harbinger. Alright, no force. Flesh Raker attack. I think I will cast K command here for X equals 1. Reason being is that we get get 2 colorless sources on the field if this resolves, and we scry draw. So we should be able to play Devourer or Sire 7 deaths if needed. Yep, we'll put that on top, draw, and pass. We'll hold in case you have a Bowmaster. Why the green splash? The white splash makes sense for pest control, but the green splash confuses me. Huh. Swamp. Black. Thoughtseize. Push. Yeah, that's fine. Black. Green. Oh, persist. Okay. 5/6 mana. Waste. Cast KGC. Minus KGC for what? We have access to 7 next turn. We could just go Tormod's Crypt. Yeah, that's an option. Also pull Ballista. I'll go Tormod's Crypt though. Karn will take a hit. That's fine. I actually wonder if Ballista might be better. Yeah, you know what? We'll grab Ballista and pass. That way, if worse comes to worse, we can Ballista down the Harbinger. Polluted Delta, Fancy Island. Persist. Interesting. Attack Karn for 1. Yep. Down to 2. Draw. Glaring Flesh Rake. In that case, let's use Flesh Rake as bait. Flesh Rake. Flesh Rake resolved. That's surprising. Ballista for 1. Trigger. So we can turn Harbinger offline. Plus on nothing. And hold. No reason to do anything right now. Black. Swamp Cycle. I guess you could persist the Troll. That'd be fine. Sewers in hand. Play Sewers. Passing. Draw. Map. Ping. Harbinger. And let's start by playing map. Trigger. Mana neutral. crack the map for a power plant. Play power plant. Attempt to resolve Sire's 7 deaths. Trigger. And counterspell? Yep. 3, 4, 5, 6. We could minus Karn for what? I mean, at this point, a bridge could be just as good of an option. I mean, I'm thinking maybe just liquid metal coating. Guess I could also grab the end stone. Yeah, I'll minus 4 end stone. Yes. End stone and pass. We'll attack for 2. Down to 7. Down to 6. I guess I should hold in case of Bowmaster. No Bowmaster. And passing, draw, Ugin. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, 15. So we'll start with the end stone. Trigger. Counterspell or consign. You could consign the trigger and end stone. Yep. That is fine. 2, 3, 4. Devourer of Destiny. Actually, can I cast Ugin? 1, 2, 3, 7. Yeah, I can. Let's do that then instead. Triggers. And done. And always yield. Always yield. And if Ugin hits board, there's pretty much nothing you can do to come back with an empty board. It's pretty much a guaranteed win at that point. Down to 5. Ugin plus. Draws a card. Fleshraker. Karn plus. And combat. Down to 3. And pass. And that should be the game. I just don't see a situation where you don't lose here. Sure. And draw. Anti-causal. Plus with Ugin. Karn. I mean, I'll just go ahead and do this now. Fleshrake trigger, Ugin target. Always yield. Down to 1. And cast Vestige. Triggers. Done. And that's the game. Yep, cool. Well, that was pretty solid. Interesting with the green. They used... Yeah, I'm still not sure about the green. They never really used anything for green specifically. Very odd. But regardless, pretty solid league. Our only loss to Yawgmoth in match 2. I'm not entirely sure about Vestige. there are times where he could have played it for its warp cost and maybe ramp something in, but there was never a point where we needed to specifically, if that made sense. So it sometimes was just a 6 mana 7/5, which is a pretty good beater for 6 mana, right? And it can be pretty easily cast on turn 3. So not entirely certain if Vestige is better than TKS, but we'll just need to continue doing some testing and go from there. I might even try it in E-Ramp. The main card that people are testing in E-Ramp from EOE right now is Ice Till Explorer, which I don't really like. People are kind of comparing it, like, there is some potential for it, being able to play multiple lands per turn. So if you play Ice Till on turn 2, then you play a Soul Land. Turn 3 you can kick, kind of like a Colorless in that regard. But if you don't have a fetch or don't have another land, then it's kind of just a 2/4, I think. 1/4, 2/4, something like that. So not really great in that regard. I'm thinking maybe Vestige could be interesting in that, as we would be able to cast it easily with 2 Temple. Which is something that you can't do with Colorless or even TKS. So something to consider there. I'm not sure if Vestige has a place in E-Tron or E-Ramp. I think it definitely is a guaranteed slot in E-Aggro. I think it could have a slot in Ergast E-Ramp, just because it does give the ability for 6 mana where you go Anti-Causal for 4, then 2 allows you to immediately go into Ergast, which is kind of cute. Though you do need 6 mana in order to accomplish that, so give and take there. You could pretty much do the same thing with Colorless or Sowing Mycospawns. I'm not sure if it's any better, though it doesn't require, red or green sources, which do open up some potential more lines. So I'm interested to see what Anti-Causal Vestige looks like, what deck it does end up in. I do think that Extinguisher Battleship is a fantastic addition to the card board. Being able to pop a non-creature permanent and then wipe the board of 4 toughness or less is fantastic. I think it's great into aggro matchups, of course, because we can just do that, clear energy, clear a ton of tokens from Affinity, etc., right? So I think Battleship has a lot of promise. Endstone I'm still not sure about. It does feel like Mystic Forge at times, where you play it and then it does nothing. So I'm not entirely certain about that. I think it could just be a good one-of wish target for Karn, where you go, okay, well, we're in a bit more of a grindy matchup. Let's just play Endstone and then go off. I think that's where it could see some value. I think there are also some niche situations where your life total is low. And you go, okay, well, let's just play the Endstone and gain, I don't know, if you're at 3 life, gain 7 up to 10. So there's some thoughts, there's some considerations there. Also, apologies for the sniffling. My allergies just decided to act up out of nowhere. I swear I'm allergic to something in this room. I've said it 1,000 times, but I swear there's something in this room that I'm allergic to. Regardless, though, I'm going to end this video there. As always, if you did enjoy it, please do consider hitting the like button, comment down below if you did see any lines that I missed, any mistakes that I made, or any general feedback would be much appreciated. For as much as I hope that you all learn from me and both my success and failures, I hope I can learn from you all as well. Last but not least, if you have reached a point in the video and haven't already, please do consider hitting the subscribe button, as we're getting closer and closer to our next goal of 1,000 subscribers. At which point we'll start monetizing these videos, allowing me to start saving up towards a streaming PC so I can stream live over on Twitch. In the meantime, though, you can support me monetarily over on my Patreon, where you get early access to my YouTube videos. That being said, though, folks, I will see y'all next time. Bye-bye!